Boston may be known as the NIMBY city when it comes to the Olympics, casinos, and a slew of other deals, but the gates are swinging wide open for one of the biggest business names in the world, General Electric, which is moving its headquarters to the Seaport District. The company released a statement today that reads in part, GE aspires to be the most competitive company in the world. We want to be at the center of an ecosystem that shares our aspirations. With nearly $150 billion in yearly revenue, GE is 8th on the Fortune 500 list. It'll be the biggest publicly traded company in Massachusetts by a long shot, and most analysts say the benefit goes well beyond the 800 jobs. Joining me to talk more about the big mover, Jody Rose. How's the coffee? Good?
It's great.
Great, okay. Executive Director of the New England Venture Capital Association, and Galen Moore is Editor-in-Chief of Bostino. Good to see you both. I pronounce that right?
Bostino.
I read it all the time, and I just realized I didn't know. In any case, why are they moving here?
I think, why wouldn't they move here?
Well, there are a lot of companies that are not. Why did they decide to leave Connecticut and decide this is more attractive than New York and a lot of other northeastern bidders?
Yeah, so if you look at the evolution of GE, they're really focused on innovation. And when you look at the Boston innovation economy, you know, we are really a hub for life sciences and tech in terms of innovation. And so it makes sense for them to be in the place where they can take advantage of and be surrounded by the top researchers, the top brain capital, the top entrepreneurs, the top, startups. It makes complete sense for them to be here.
So I just read that statement, Galen. We want to be at the center of an ecosystem that shares our aspirations. Is that what that means in English?
Everybody wants to reproduce what's happened in Kendall Square. You look in Kendall Square, one block from another, you've got Broad, you've got Weiss, you've got these cross-disciplinary research efforts that are happening, and everybody can talk to one another. They can run into each other in Cozy or whatever when they're getting lunch. So everybody wants that. They want to see that happen, and they want their company to be a part of it. I think that's what GE is after.
And what's interesting too is when you look at research, when you look at Kendall Square, the most research that's happening across the globe is happening in Kendall Square.
Yeah, and most people, I have to say, at home probably saying this is about a light bulb, but I think we left that behind quite a while ago. So what are they getting? We know $20 million in property tax relief of some sort from the city, $120 million in a combination of things from the state. What else did people? Was it just the allure you described that caused people like Baker and Walsh to be able to convince Jeffrey Immelt, the CEO, to pick this place? What else did we get?
What are we getting?
No, what did they get?
What did they get?
Yeah.
So, I think they are looking, according to what they're saying, they want to remake their headquarters. They want their headquarters to be R&D focused. I think the phrase they used was the content of General Electric's headquarters. So there are 800 people based in this facility, and 600 of them are going to be designers, developers, and product managers.
Yeah, and they have such a strong focus on clean energy and high tech and life sciences. And if you look across the globe, we're the leaders in those spaces. And
so what are we getting? I mean, we're getting 600 to 800 jobs, but everybody with whom I spoke today says that's really the smallest part of this thing. Shirley Leung, who wrote an open letter in the Globe a couple of weeks ago to the CEO saying, come on to town, said it's bigger than the Olympics and then some. What do we get?
Yeah, so when you look at our innovation economy and kind of you look at this ecosystem, and you compare it to a mall or a thriving mall, right? What makes a mall thrive is the ability to attract and have anchor companies, strong boutiques, great access to product. And for a long time, we haven't had that anchor company. And what we get, through GE is a strong anchor company, this, Fortune 100, top 10 Fortune 100 company that's coming here, that's investing in our economy, and that's saying that we're partnering with you guys from a research perspective, we're partnering with you on jobs, we're partnering with you on innovation. So we get to, sort of, from a cross-pollination standpoint, we hugely benefit from them coming here.
And it's the notion that somebody who is contemplating a move now in North Carolina or in Tennessee or somewhere says if it's good enough for GE, then it's probably good enough for me. I mean, is that trickle down that way?
I think there's some of that, but also I think there's like a, Boston has, you said that with a NIMBY city, that's pretty good, right?
We are.
Yeah, but we also have this thing of we can't keep companies here, we can't keep headquarters here. John Hancock, EMC, right? Sold, gone. Now they're owned by somebody somewhere else. So now we've got one of the biggest companies in the world that's going to come and be based here. It's a reverse the curse kind of a moment.
Well, speaking of curse, I hate to be a Debbie Downer in this situation, but there's such exaltation. This is a company that apparently got upset with Connecticut because of the corporate tax rates. This is a company which between 2008 and 2013 made $34 billion and got hundreds of millions in tax refunds, a net tax rate of -1%. Why are we not worried that when they come here, they're not going to go to Charlie Baker after the first year and say, we're not crazy about the tax system here either. We need a little more and a little more. They're tax averse, like most companies are, but they're sort of the champions of the tax averse crowd, no?
So when you look at everybody that had a piece of the pie that was really involved in bringing GE here. We had, a ton of our civic leaders, our top investors that were really at the forefront of bringing them here. And I think it was, was beyond kind of just a tax issue, because I know we sometimes are called, or we have been called Taxachusetts.
Well, I don't think anybody's calling it anymore, except people who aren't paying attention.
Exactly, and so really the focus for them is, kind of as we compare it to other cities, this made perfect sense in terms of innovation, in terms of access.
But so neither of you worried about the notion that a company that again paid nothing to the federal government, got money back over a space of 5 years, and they're making a ton of money, salting a lot of money overseas currently to avoid taxation, is not going to continue the same sort of practice?
Tons of
here?
questions like that to ask. I mean, I think, look, if they want to be serious corporate citizens here, they're going to have to support education, for one thing. Right, look at Boston Public Schools. You can't purport to be a company that's involved in heavy-duty R&D and making Boston the hub of your, intellectual enterprise there, and not be, have Boston schools in the condition that they're in.
Are they going to drain talent? I mean, you were excited a minute ago about all the draw. Both of you were. Are they going to be so big and so marquee that they're going to drain all the top young talent?
No, absolutely
away
not.
from
The
other?
opposite will happen.
Exactly.
The opposite will happen. You'll have startups that will want to poach, that will want to hire.
Yep.
People will be excited to leave a company like GE, even though GE is an exciting company. They'll be excited to move on and do something new and fresh, start from the ground up, right? That's how these things happen. Now, they haven't happened historically that way in Massachusetts because why? Non-competes, right? Our major tech employers here, EMC is the flagship one, right? Employ non-competes to restrict people from being able to leave and go and join a startup, join another company that might be competing. I think there's a question to ask of GE. Will you use non-competes in Massachusetts? Will those 600 designers, developers, and product people have non-competes, locking them up, keeping them working at GE, prohibiting them from cross-pollinating
When
with
they
people
sit
in the
here,
system?
I promise I will ask two very happy people. We got to go. Jody, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for
Same
having
with you,
me.
Galen. Great.
Jane,
Thanks.
great
Look
to
at the smiles on their faces.